Fam, I greet you in the words of Assalamu alaikum. With me, peace and blessings be upon you. And I mention both Jesus and Muhammad's names. And looking at the Underground Railroad, we come on every Saturday night at 10:30. But all of these guests that you see, you can see them on my YouTube page. Okay? 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And I'm going to make, this is going to be a 3-part series of shows, so I'm going to have them introduce themselves. I have Dr. Lee Warren, and I have Red Ross, and I have David Kaas from out of California, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves because they have platforms too, so they'll be able to give you information on how to get to their platforms because they share, and I believe in sharing. I believe in having symbiotic relationships, not parasital relationships. Go ahead, Dr. Lee Warren.
Well, I'm Dr. Lee Warren. I'm producer of the PLEM television show. That's the Power Late Man television show. It comes on every Wednesday from 8:30 to 9:30 on Channel 36, reach on Thursday from 10:30 to 11:30 on Thursday on Channel 36. And to contact us or to see our website, it's PLEM, tons of information, geopolitical, spiritual, financial, just the whole ball of wax. That's PLEM, that's PLIM, the number 2.org. So that's PLEM, PLIM, the number 2.org. And you can always contact us on the phone by 773-509-8124. Again, that's 773-509-8124.
And Brother Red Ross, everybody knows you, but everybody knows Dr. Lee Warren. But go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Dr. Ross, alaikum assalam, rahmatullah, barakatuh. In the words of the Creator, peace and blessings upon you, us all, and may we stay favored by the Creator. I do things in the street as an activist, as under the guidance of being media director and broadcaster, crossing the lines with the communications, dealing with the youth, the at-risk youth, the ones that's supposed to be so bad, unquote, unquote, that nobody wants to deal with. I deal with them all because I came from the same cloth that they came from and was favored by the Creator to have a change in my life and recognize the change. Sharing is caring. I share with the youth, I share with the elders. Dealing with a radio station called Truth HD. Is in the memory of Harold Davis, but the Truth HD is the high definition. And the name of the show is The Big Payback. We're on YouTube on Tuesday from 4 to 5 and on Thursday from 3 to 5. And we're also on Sunday, but it's called Pleasant Encounters in Hammond, Indiana, 102.3 FM. It's Miss Geraldine Smith show, but it's called Pleasant Encounters. I'm also on KNTV most of all different times with Mr. Bradley, which is a brother of mine, close family member as far as the nation, as far as our spiritual guidance from the Creator. And the most other part is Marky's World. I don't know if anybody knows, it's on KNTV too, but their show is something like Cliff's, but the Underground Railroad can't be duplicated or implicated because it's one of a kind.
Y'all shows are one of a kind. Okay, y'all shows, not mine. I'm humble myself. See, y'all got millions of followers. I may have a handful of followers, but I got what Allah wants me to have. And that's sufficient. And I got David Kaas. I'm gonna take it off. I got David Kaas from out of California. He is an individual that I do a podcast with. He's my partner in crime. But we don't commit no crimes to the government out there that's listening. Go ahead, David. Make an introduction and tell them where your YouTube thing is. Okay.
All the audience out there can find my YouTube page at www.youtube.com/C as in Charlie /David L. Kaas. That's Kaas. I am running for the presidency in the next 2 years, and my platform will be to abolish all pagan holidays, including birthdays, then to reinstate the 7 Mosaic feast days. And thank you, Clifton.
Okay. And you know what? I I want to get on down with it because I know the people looking, they want us to get to the point. And people on YouTube, you want us to get on to the point. Facebook, YouTube, all you social media platforms. And I'd like to ask you first, Dr. Lee Warren, what is going on with the economy? Why? Why is the dollar devalued? Why? Why is it? What's going on? You know, I mean, I just went to the store and spent $34 and got a half a bag of groceries. What's going on?
Well, that's basically the fact that most people don't understand the financial system of how it was constructed and who benefits from it. Most people don't even know what the Federal Reserve is. In other words, the Federal Reserve Bank is one that orchestrates the economy. You don't have a U.S. note. If you look out you pull out a dollar bill, you pull out any type of paper currency that you have in your paper money, you'll find out it says Federal Reserve note. So that's a private bank in the interest of the banks. And they print up money. And the money currently, the system that we have, is called a fiat system. What they mean by fiat, that's a technical term for economy. I got a degree in that stuff. It don't mean anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
But a fiat is F-A-I-T. It means by the decree of the government. It's not backed by any gold or silver or anything, but by the federal government or by the Congress making it a law that you can pay your taxes and all public debt can be paid. That's what it says on the note, that you can pay. It's a note that you can pay for that. Now, the problem is that the country has never had a balanced budget, and they've been printing. If they don't have a balanced budget, just like you, what they do, they print up money. The Federal Reserve print up money. When they want a war, they print up money, and the money has become so devalued, just like anything else. If you got whiskey, you got 100 proof, and you start adding water to it, at some point it becomes what? Worthless. Well, that's what's happened. It's not that the prices are going up, it's the price of the currency of the dollar is falling. And on an international basis, both Russia and China have refused, and a lot of other countries have begun to use the other currency. So the dollar is not being used. So basically, it's a devaluation of the dollar that's taking place in the whole world.
Got you. And Brother Red Ross, what is going on? You got people that are actually living off their credit cards. I know that sounds strange. They're living off their credit cards. Don't they understand one day the party is on? What's going on?
It's like the doc said, you don't understand the value of the system, and the fiat changes the whole thing around.
But can I ask y'all something? See, y'all using these big words on me, fiat. Now, what does fiat mean? Y'all use it.
It means, all it means is a currency, a paper currency that's been authorized by the federal government. It's not backed by gold or silver. In other words, you can't take a 1 ounce gold or silver coin somewhere and use it as currency. You can only use the paper dollar.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, the value is deflated, and that's why Russia put the World Bank out. See, you talk about a lot of things, but they don't realize a lot of things, just as they don't know that there's more Muslims in Ukraine and Russia than what you think. This fight is not what you're looking at. It's a magic show again. Now you see it, now you don't. Sleight of the hand. So it's the same thing with this paper. They're making less valued items and to pay more for it. You used to get 3 orange slices in a bag. Now you get 1 and it's the same price, maybe double.
That's right.
Oh, wow. And David from out of California, man, my Lord, I don't know what y'all economy looks like because you know what, we in different regions. But what is going on with the economy, man? I mean, why they putting less food in the bags, charging the same amount of money and people living off credit cards? Talk to me, man.
Well, it comes down to the FEMA camps. We've got FEMA camps in every state. They're all on the railroad tracks outside of town, and they're all equipped and ready to take boarders. Now, what is this for? This is for a lockdown and a prison sentence for most. You know, we spend $81 billion per year to keep our inmates housed, clothed, fed, and guarded. We also owe $33 trillion to the IMF banking system over in Europe. So before we can ever get our our acts together and consider, what's been going wrong to get our economics back in place so we can at least eat and drink clean water, we're going to have to get our heads out of the muck, the mire that's been put upon us by all these experts and politicians, and even presidents have told us a bunch of malarkey. Joe Biden just the other day said we had 0% inflation. The newscasters know that it's been 8.5% this last month. So, I'm not listening to anybody tell me anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And you know what, Dr. Lee Warren, man, this is fascinating. Y'all know that? But Dr. Lee Warren, what is going on, man? There's so many foreclosures. There are people that are losing their homes and automobiles that are just being repossessed. I don't understand what's going on.
Well,
don't they check these people out before they take loans?
Well, the people don't understand. You don't have the wartime economy. When we came out of World War II,
okay,
United States was the big UNO. They dictated the world policy, or what you call geopolitics. The hegemony means a big word. Hegemony means they had world dominancy. And whatever the U.S. said went. And it has been going on for the last 77 years since World War II. But then recently, in the last 20 years, you had two arrivals to have come from the East, Russia and China. See, and they oppose the system. Now, what you have here, to answer your question here, is that the problem is that the United States doesn't have the power anymore. It was now what they did in addition after World War II. And we came back and prospered. During the 60s, 70s, and 80s, we shipped most of the manufacturing jobs abroad. All the jobs, factories closed here in the U.S. and they went into Asia because the powers to be, quote, that run this thing, owners, our masters, see, decided that there would be cheap labor like they bought us here. So Asia was the cheap labor. And they gave them the technology and everything to compete to basically undermine this system. And eventually they have come to par with it. So now you don't have any jobs. Now you come back to your question here, is that you have very few jobs here that are livable wages.
Yeah.
People using credit cards, people that working 2 or 3 jobs because you don't have those factory jobs that you had, that the blacks had when they came up south to afford. They're going to buy homes. They send their kids to college. Well, them jobs are gone. The kids today it's an impossibility for them to have what their parents have because the United States is not that power manufacturing. Well, all that's in Asia.
And Red Ross, I like to pose that same question. What is your analysis of tons of people are losing their homes? Tons. There are people that had condos that were $900. So these were subprime loans. Subprime loans, for people that don't know, is they give people loans that credit is not really trustworthy. What is going on in the USA?
Another shell game. Where you moving the cup, but the P not under there. So it's different fashions of it, and the way Dr. Warren is explaining it, it's all directly to the understanding of what's going on in the economy and the people. The fiber of the family has been broken. So you have to reinsert yourself to rethink about what Trump was doing when he said taking back America. Don't look at him with the cross eye, look at him with the straight eye. His form of the way he came, he told you he wasn't a politician. We understood that. So they make a move to do something else to talk about January 6th.
Make America great again? Oh,
but at a different turn. See, it's not what you wanted or how you wanted. That's what the Creator does. The Creator give you what you need, not what you want. Everybody in this building go to the store and buy what they want. And when they get home, the first thing they say is, I didn't need that. They may have had 2 already or just bought too many. It's a balance. That's why you got a left and a right hand. If it wasn't, you had 2 right hands or 2 left hands. So the balance is opposite.
I'm going to get to Donald Trump last. I'd like to ask you the same thing, David. What is going on, man? I mean, people losing their homes. And see, I want people to know I'm trying to get different opinions and different perspectives. And you know what? I'm gonna start doing more panel discussions anyway.
Yes,
You
sir.
know. But go ahead, David.
Well, the size of the problem is always a concern to anybody that wants to fix it. And as I was saying before, we have a big problem with our prison system in this country. We also have a big problem with 33 trillion we owe the IMF. But the biggest problem that I see is the passing of the Nemesis Nibiru star system in year 2.
Hold on for a minute. We're talking about the homeless. The homeless people losing their homes.
Okay.
Okay, and repossessions.
Everybody's going to be losing it because everybody's going to lose their jobs. And when you lose your job, you can't pay for your car, your home, your family, anything. So everybody's going to be in the same boat here shortly. You know, like a year or two ago, Clifton, we were kind of chuckling and laughing about how things supposedly could get worse.
Yeah.
Now they are. And they're going to get a lot more worse real soon. But the housing, our housing market is collapsed. It's kaput. Nobody's buying houses anymore.
You get good enough credit.
No, but that's just it. You can't establish credit if you can't get a job. So if you can't get a job, how can you get any credit? So the problems that you are citing with the foreign manufacturing of computer parts, automobiles, everything, it's been planned out for the last 30, 40 years by the big money people. They shipped it all out of here. They made us a service industry over here, and now that's being taken away with the COVID-19.
We don't want to talk. We don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah,
because you know
that's
what?
why.
I'm gonna tell y'all why. I don't want to talk about this. The reason I don't want to talk about this because YouTube, they censor people when they talk about this particular
That's right.
this particular subject matter.
Yes, sir.
And you know what? I'm going to probably edit that out because
sir.
they will put you on lockdown.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So you know, got to protect the platform.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but thank you, Dave. Thank you. But
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I want to ask you, Doctor. I want to pose this question to all three of you. I want to ask you something. The homeless rate when you drive in Chicago, California, there are 10 cities that are set up. And I would like to ask you, at some point, they're going to come to a conclusion. Damn, what do we do with all these people? What are going to happen to these people whose homes have been foreclosed on and they're jamming up the city in downtown living in tent cities? Dr. Ward.
Well, the problem is that you don't, it comes back to what we essentially said. The economy is shot. And in California, the cost of living is very exorbitant. You know, rent is running between $2,000 and $3,000 for the average apartment. You know, especially a 2 or 3 bedroom. That's beyond the average individual working a livable wage to pay $3,000 a month or $2,000 a month. So they either doubling up or tripling up. If they can't double and triple up, or there's only one option left, a couple options left. They got 2 options. First option, grandma's home was paid for. See, they all go crash back to that. So you may have 8, 12 people living in the house all together, sleeping on pallets and stuff. Or then you go to the option of what you're talking about is homeless.
Yeah.
See, that's it. See, they don't have a net to catch. Because if grandma or aunt has a house, it's got to be somebody in the family, if they've been working and had a halfway functional family, somebody got a house that's paid for.
Yeah.
That house that's paid for, well, we all going to chip in and pay utility bills and everything and try to get ourselves straight and live there. That's what they did in the Depression. John Johnson and on Ebony, he had to sleep on the couch. So that we get back to that point because the economy is totally destroyed. There's no jobs. And then on top of that, they're starting a damn war over there with Russia.
We're going to get to that, yeah. And I'd like to ask you, pose the same question to you, Red Ross. You know, the same question to you too, David, is the thing is they're people that are living in tent cities in California, Chicago, all over the United States of America. And those numbers are not decreasing, it's increasing. What is the society going to do with these people living in tent city and they live in downtown California, New York, Chicago? What are they going to do with them?
In this can of mixed nuts that you talking about with this questioning, see, in this can of mixed nuts, everybody's not a macadamia. There's some beer nuts in here, some cheap ones.
That's right.
You got the American people and the United States being pushed to a brink.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's don't play with the gas prices while they're trying to push you to electric. Let's pay attention to what's really going on. When you talk about homeless, you're talking about an unsurfaced, beyond Star Trek, where man has never gone. You got 6 different groups in a home now. You got Granny 60.
That's right.
You got another granny or the children's mother that's 40. You got the children's daughter 30.
That's right.
You got the children in the home. You got 6 different generations that you're dealing with, and you wonder about what's going on with the crime and different things. You got 6 different families that's being pushed together, like what Dr. Warren is saying, that came from the kitchenette apartment. But what you don't know is about the homeless, Candor Enterprises with Michael Sadiq and Ricky and Jumar. These are guys that's doing the reentry programs. They're going into the county jail and talking to the youth, and nobody's talking about it because they don't know about it. I'm privy to certain knowledge and wisdom to give you, since you mentioned homeless. There's 65% homeless of the children that's locked up in the juvenile facility that have nowhere to go.
I didn't know that. Dr. Warren.
And when you let them out, where can they go but back to where they came from?
That's right, street.
I'd like to ask you, pose the same question to you, David, out in California. I would like to ask you, brother, there are plenty of tent cities in California, New York, Chicago. I would like to ask you, David, what are they going to do to the people that are living in the tent cities once we overwhelmed? What are they going to do to them?
Well, first of all, the people that are living in those tent cities, they're really depressed. There are a lot of drugs, heroin, morphine, cocaine, but I mean, just everything is out there. The alcohol is killing them off, and the cigarettes, but it's their own abuse of their bodies and their systems that are going to, kill them. And that's what the authorities know. So they're just kind of letting them be wherever they exist at. And just yesterday, we had a freeway fire on the freeway out here. And it was a big homeless encampment, and all went up in flames with the whole thing. So, I mean, they're just allowing this because the problem with the homeless out here is multinational, can we say? And it's also from all the states in the union. They send out their homeless on Greyhound buses every fall. So we get them out here from everywhere. So
seems like it's a technical problem. And you know what? Let's see, get called back. But you know what I'd like to ask both of you, all 3 of y'all. When we look at, first of all, according to the news, Donald Trump had classified information when his home was not raided. I'm talking about where they went in to get information in his boxes, and they found out he had classified information. Donald Trump on this date, the 12th of August. But I'd like to ask you, all of y'all, do you think that the country is better off with Donald Trump or Joe Biden?
Well, that's an obvious question. If you're going to look at the question just from a natural standpoint, Biden can't go down to tomorrow and get a job at Walmart. Because when he walks in there and they find out he's demented, they tell Pops, you know what? Your best days is over. You go home. Because, you through. We ain't going to even argue with that. Now that shows you the power. What people don't realize, that shows you the power of the people that run this thing.
Yeah.
Our masters to put in a demented president. What the hell's going on here? You can put a monkey in here and all we do. What the hell going on? You know you can't put he couldn't fly a plane. He can't what job can he apply for? You know decently he can't apply for that job. So the question is obviously that Trump would win hands down. And the program he has, he's talking about bringing jobs back, and that's one of the problems we have, is that there's no jobs here. Livable wages jobs. We're not talking about Mickey D jobs, and we're not talking about service jobs. We're talking about jobs, livable wage jobs you need today.
Meaningful.
You need between $40,000 and $50,000. You gotta be, and in the city of Chicago to live comfortably, middle class, you need between $50,000 and $60,000.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'd like to ask you, Brother Red Ross, you know what? Is the country better off with Joe Biden or Donald Trump?
I hope,
Well, there's an election coming up.
I hope the people are listening to your show and looking with an ear of attention, because what Dr. Warren said is so exclusive to understanding what this dogmatic situation is. A man that turns to shake a hand and it's a ghost standing there, and I'm making a statement about they can't outnumber us, which they don't understand. And this comes from 1867. Right. Dr. Warren know what I'm talking about. It was 2 slaves to every 1 human being in Virginia. But now I'm going to say something else about Dr. David that's on the show. His problems is him mentioning the FEMA camps. That's why the communication went bad for him, because it's strings. But it's okay, because you got some diabolical people here that understand what we're talking about. But I would rather for them to understand what your show is about, the literacy of understanding what functional literacy is. And Dr. Warren puts it in such a pleasant situation, and you know, he's getting more with honey than he would a gun. So it just to have your
30 years, and the vote count hasn't been counted. So that's what's really going on.
Okay. So you know what? I want to tell everybody, you know what? These 3 shows, you need to listen. You need to listen to Dr. Lee Warren, Red Ross, B. and David, and go to their, you need to go to their platforms. And I guess I got a minute left, so I guess I can have a minute since it's my show.
yes.
But guess I can't have a minute. Assalamu alaikum.
Common sense, just to be able to see just a little bit. The reason that our culture cannot protect the women and children in our community is because they're not at attention.
Okay, you know what, Brother David, please, 1 minute, because you know what, do you think that the country is better off with Donald Trump, better off with Joe Biden or Donald Trump? We running a long time, but we're going to do another show.
No, it is not better, and the whole thing's a scam. The Diebold Dominion machines have been selecting the leaders for